Hello everybody, anyone who's locked in right now or listening back. My name's N.E.GIRL and I am going to start Drift Radio today. What's the date? September the 10th. It's been a little while since I've been on Drift, but for the next hour I'm in conversation with Alin. Thank you very much for coming to join me. I decided to bring on someone who I admire a lot because of the work they do in Copenhagen, and also talk about a lot of things that I myself find interesting, such as how we make communities in this very niche music scene that we're in Copenhagen. But starting off, I have a lovely track by Asmo. I've been meaning to play this for a while. The only time I've managed to play this was at Jolene. And since you're going to be joining me, we're going to be talking about Kune Festival. We're going to be talking about house music. I thought I would start with this track. It's called Trackways, and you can get it on Bandcamp. Slowly coming off that one, that was Asmo again, Trackways. So as this track ends, I'm going to bring in Alin just to introduce yourself. I know I said before, you are founder and director of Kune Festival. What else are you up to musically and outside of the decks?
So first of all, thank you so much for the invite. I'm really happy to be here. To return to Drift Radio. I was here 2 years ago together with Vika and Anos. We're also part of Kune Festival, and we're doing a small promo back then for the festival. So yeah, I'm just really happy to get to meet you and also be part of this radio show. Musically, what I'm up to, I'm also a DJ myself, so I play music, and actually that's how the whole journey around doing events in Copenhagen has started, out of a need to create a space where I can play music and I can share music, and where I can also get to interact through music with other people and get to know each other in that way. I feel like music, at least for me personally, and maybe this is something that everyone that plays music can recognize for themselves as well, it's a type of language and kind of like a medium of connection outside words, you know. So for me, for a very long time since I was young, has been a way of connecting with people. So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm doing musically. I play music.
You play music, you program music. Do you make music?
I dabbled a little bit here and there in a few studios.
FL Studios, okay.
Shout out, Ableton, yeah.
Ableton, okay.
Yeah. I've tried FL Studio as well, but I guess Ableton was the one that spoke more to me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you talked about connecting with music, and that's how you and I started speaking.
Yeah.
Given we were in a workshop about fundraising in music and culture life.
Really cool workshop, by the way. I was so happy to be there.
Yeah, thank you for coming. It was another life for anyone who's interested. But we began talking about, I guess, what's happening in Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking about the need for more support. We started talking about what community means. And we also started speaking, which really wanted me to invite you onto the show, about the difficult parts of what it means to sustain a community and how hard it can be to do all this work voluntarily. But before we go into that, I'm going to let this looping track end because it's starting to get on my nose. And we're going to play one of your tracks that you sent me and we will go into the first question.
Let's do it.
So this first track that you sent me is called N.E.GIRL. It's a Borisberg remix.
Yeah, it's a Dorisberg remix for Boss's track called N.E.GIRL, as you well called it. And this track, actually, you asked me to to come up with a few tracks for different themes, and this one was for the early days of Kune. This is way before Kune Festival, so we're talking maybe 10 years ago when we were just getting started, and this is one of those tracks that I was playing at that time that really brings back that very first events to my mind. Yeah.
We've been mentioning Kune Festival a lot, but we haven't actually described what it is, when it is, and what the music profile of Kune Festival is. Right now...
So you mean that everybody doesn't already know?
Not everyone knows what Kune Festival is, I wish. I've been a few times myself.
Me too.
I actually volunteered once, had a really great time. I didn't really do anything other than pretend to be a stage manager, but it was really fun. But I invited you to send me 2 tracks of some of the earlier memories of Kune and which songs would represent that. What is Kune Festival and how did it begin? What did it look like? How small was it? I imagine it was a tiny festival when it first began.
Kune Festival as a project, as an entity, started in 2019 with a small pilot project. And at that time, Kune as a group, we were transitioning between realities of the event promoters or event makers, if I can call it that. And we started out 10 years ago by doing events of smaller scope, like once every month. And then after doing that for some years, we had a choice. Either we would maybe stop doing events altogether and kind of mind our daily lives, or choose to maybe take up the challenge and try to look at things in a different light. And we actually chose to do that. And what we decided at that time was that instead of doing events every month or very often, maybe we would focus on doing 1 or maybe 2 events a year instead, because we all wanted it. It was very tough to give up on what we had built. We are very and still are very emotionally connected to it, and so that's why we decided that. And as it happens, while we were transitioning into this new way of looking at things, we saw this ad on Facebook groups. I can remember who it was that brought it up to our attention, that Ungdomsøen, so it's this island just outside Copenhagen, for everyone that doesn't know.
30 minutes on a boat, very quick.
Yeah, you take the boat from Nyhavn. Normally there's a ferry that takes you there, and in about 30 minutes you're on the island. And this island has a long history. It was built as a military fortress to defend Copenhagen and Denmark from invading forces that were coming from the sea. But today it's repurposed into this community space targeted for the youth of Denmark.
But it's actually perfect because it means it has these bunkers, it has different levels you can play with, it has secret coves that you can go and explore. And that's one of the reasons I really enjoy going, because it feels like you're on a holiday but you're still in Denmark. I actually have a question. When you first decided, okay, we're going to do a bigger project, we're going to do it twice a year, what was the atmosphere like in Copenhagen? What else was happening? Was there any other big festivals?
Festivals?
I imagine there was Strum Festival, of course.
Yeah. Like, so the big ones that I think I would assume people in the scene are kind of used to, so Distortion and Strum Festival and what else is I don't know, like the big ones, Roskilde and so on, but those are a little bit outside of electronic music. Besides these, I think the scene was quite vibrant at that time. There are a lot of small collectives that were doing parties. There was a venue in Surhavn called Surhavnsgil, where we also did a few parties. Shout out to CUP, Copenhagen Underground Posse, and D Brown, Daniel Savi.
Daniel Savi, yes. I have a story about Daniel Savi. Shout out you. He was actually the first person I started working with when I moved here, and he introduced me to a lot of things, Natcat and all of the cool stuff.
He's one of the OGs, for sure.
But before we get into anything else, I think we should hear this tune from the top.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
And then keep going.
Let's give it a go. So imagine this track being played out on this massive sound system. We had like a big function one in a room, maybe as big as the one that we're in right now.
So this room, perhaps capacity-wise, can hold 50 people?
50 people, yeah. That's exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
In this in a really small student bar in Amma at Konjovskolegel. So it was like a student campus, dormitory, like Friday bars, like really gnarly beer bar. And then once a month, it was getting transformed into this magical place. And for like 50, 75 people or so, like for like 8-9 hours, it was getting really sweaty.
Sweatbox vibes. You know what I miss? I miss those environments. I feel like our little scene that thrives with this kind of music has gotten quite big, and we're trying desperately to get that vibe back in very big spaces, and it's really hard to make it authentic.
Yeah.
So I have similar stories of like dubstep and jungle. We can talk about it.
Nice. Where? Dorisburg.
as I tried to do some subtle mixing here. It was really nice that we had this very nerdy conversation about music organization and how we sort out our record box. But it leads me to go on to my next question about genres and Kune Festival and the type of artists you represent, and if that representation reflects the community that you're in as well. So, as you might not know, I'm more of a bass girl, meaning that I play UK bass oriented music, dubstep, maybe some grime, jungle, things like that. Whenever I've been to Kune, the closest I've heard to that style has probably been on the beach stage. Some dub techno. What music style would you say your community is part of mostly, and how do you cater to that and program the festival?
Yeah, so I think every festival has some kind of sonic identity, right? I think maybe there are a few festivals around the world that try to cater for every sound and genre out there. For us, with the limited capacity that we have on the island and the infrastructure, I don't think we will ever be able to achieve something like that. But I think we've been working hard from the beginning, and also this year I think is the strongest lineup that we've had so far, thanks to Casper and Martin, who've been co-bookers.
You just naming names.
Casper Marat and Martin Gilleshøj.
There we go. Two actually.
Both of them DJs in the Copenhagen scene.
Exactly, very
and Casper
notable.
Producer as well.
Actually, not even locally, internationally, if we're completely honest. Which means that they have their ear on what's going on, not even only in Copenhagen, Denmark and wider. But still, I would say it is quite specific to a certain style. How would you describe then the type of people that come to Kune Festival?
It's very hard to describe that. I think it has less to do with the music. If I think about the audience, it has less to do with the music and more to do with the values that we're trying to inspire, and also values that we live by as an organization, but also personally, most of us, or all of us actually in Kune. And I think it has to do with a very open connection to the exterior, so like to other people, to yourself, to nature as well. I guess it's kind of like some kind of neo-hippie type of vibe. You know?
But I guess the closest festival I can think of would be something like Waking Life.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
You know, that have this very conscious, sustainable, both socially and environmental ethos to what they do. But again, we could argue it is a very heated greenwashing marketing term. When we talk about community, I'm really glad you said shared values. That's one of the main premises of what a community is, that you have values that you agree on together. But then one thing we don't really talk about is, what do we do if somebody in the community decides, fuck these values, I want to get fucked on this island, I want to throw my trash everywhere. What do we do? Copenhagen
is very good. I'm glad you asked this question, because just last night I was at the general meeting of this association that used to be called Copenhagen's Fripromore, so KFP. It's an organization that has existed for maybe 4 or 5 years or so, and they've been doing a lot of great work, amongst which being champions of safer spaces in the music scene and the nightlife.
Maybe simply they're like a union for promoters and people who operate in this space that we're in.
Yeah, like that's how they started. The organization is going through a transformation right now, so I think the organization is getting ready for the next steps. But going back to your question about what do we do in a moment like that, so the work that they have done, and also that Fast Forward has championed like 10 years ago already in Copenhagen regarding safer spaces, really a way of dealing with people and kind of bringing everyone into the fold, so to speak. So at the festival we have a dedicated safer space team who is tasked with handling situations like these, but fortunately enough we never really had to do something like this. And I think it's also because our festival is quite small, and again, going back to the values, I think we thankfully managed to attract the right audience. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up fast forwards. It would be a good segue, thank you for that, to talk about some venues, because you obviously hold your festival outside of inner city. You need to get on a boat for 30 minutes. And a promoter who I would argue have been really good at doing these pirate raves and creating a genuine community in the underground is Fast Forward. So I'm going to play this track and we're going to talk about venues and spaces.
Just a few words about this track. So it's called Savage Kilo, and it was reissued on a label called Shadow Hide You. Shadow Hide You, or Shy for short, is a label that was formed here in Copenhagen some years ago, and it's been started by Morten. His artist name is MHM1. He also has an art gallery right now on Bloggers Guild called Bricks Gallery. So that's what he was doing before.
Yes, is it quite a new gallery?
Well, it's been there for a few years, I think now. But
okay.
Yeah, just wanted to call out the label, so check it out.
Shout out Morten, shout out your label. Yeah.
What's that sound? What's that sound? Ah, yes. Ain't that fresh? Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes. Ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes. Ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes. Ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Hey, you, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ah, yes. Ain't that fresh? Now everybody wants to get down like that. Ah, yes. Ain't that fresh? Fresh. Sound. Fresh. Sound.
Yeah, so I was just saying I was going to play a fast forward track, but it would have killed the vibe. I'm sorry to say it. But anyway, we're going to go into some garage and we're going to move on and talk about venues. You know, one of the most interesting thing about Kune, like I mentioned, is that it's on an island. And that's quite a novelty, meaning a lot of people would be interested to come out there and see what's happening. How the hell did you manage to get on an island?
Yeah. So, like I was saying, in 2019, we were looking for something to do, and it was by luck that we heard that the island was just coming out of renovations, and the people that were kind of like in charge over there, they were looking for cultural actors to do some kind of events out there. They didn't know what they're looking for. We didn't know what we really wanted to do. So
this is the thing, because you said in the islands for the youth, and they were looking for new activities. But as a promoter that has this big ambition to do a festival, how do you approach? I guess it's the municipality.
It was not the municipality, no. So it's a private organization. So for anyone that has heard about Spejdernes, it's kind of like the Scouts of Denmark. They are the ones who bought the island and who did all this amazing work of fundraising and renovating it. And at some point they realized that, hold on, this project is a little bit too big for just the Scouts of Denmark. And then that's when they came out with this new initiative of spinning off a new daughter organization called Ungdomsøen, so the Youth Island, and then turning the island into a place for all the youth of Denmark, not just the Scouts.
Okay, because that's quite a different approach to go into the municipality, as we all know, is really difficult to get licenses, to get approval, to get them to even understand this concept of electronic music that we all like. I guess some notable collectives and promoters we should talk about would be Multiple, New Little Clubbing. What else? Just these collectives that have come together because they wanted some autonomy, they wanted to create their own space with their own vibe. How quickly did you realize, being on the island and having the festival, that perhaps this was bigger than you anticipated, or it was perfect?
Oh, I think we went there in 2018. In November 2018, we went there to see it for the first time. And you know, like, as someone that does events for a while, like, every space that you find yourself in, like, you start measuring it up and you start imagining things, and you're kind of like entering this hallucination, or, you know, like, parallel reality of like imagining what could be there, what could exist there. And for those that haven't been to the island, I mean, it's a place where, as you put it, there's just so many nooks and crannies and levels and indoor, outdoor.
Yeah, things to explore and get lost with, and that's why I enjoy going to Kune Festival.
Yeah. So like it really gets you dreaming, like in a snap, you know. So when we were there, we were like, shit, you know, like, this could be the next big thing, or like this could be the best thing, greatest thing that we have ever done. Yeah.
I have a memory from Kune Festival, and it was when Mama Snake played, and
Love Sarah.
Yes, on the main stage, and God forbid something happened to someone and a helicopter came. And I'm sorry to put this out there. Something happened to someone, an emergency helicopter came, and she was playing, and I remember looking out, and the helicopter just flew behind the scene, and I thought, what the fuck, is this part of the show? It was when you
part of the show.
when you stand on top and you look down and you see the scene, it's really beautiful because it's like in this cove. What would you call it?
Yeah, it's like sort of a pit. Like a
So I started to envision, okay, you must have arrived on the island and thought, okay, we're going to put a stage here, we're going to do this. But speaking of Mama Snake, are there some standout sets that you remember?
From this year's festival?
Yeah.
Or just...
Yeah. Or any that comes to mind.
Well, this year, I think I've heard so much mind-blowing music and so many beautiful moments. For example, Tornado Wallace at Beach Stage was really favorite.
I really enjoyed the Beach Stage. Group Therapy did a really good job as well. Group Therapy?
Yeah, Group Therapy, exactly. Beautiful day. Reptant at Vessel Stage. Mama Snake, Hugo at Space Stage kind of blew my mind.
I
this
like
year.
Hugo.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. It was a very pleasant surprise, I think, for everyone.
So speaking of local artists, I also asked you to bring some tracks.
Yeah.
From some local artists you're really into.
I have 2 tracks over here. One of them is from CK, which is also one of my favorite artists coming out of Denmark. He is from Aarhus, and he's actually been part of a couple of groups and collectives out there. I feel like Aarhus is such a, I don't know, hotspot for musical geniality. It's crazy. I don't know what people eat there, but
it's very concentrated, and I think they don't have the same competitive nature we do, and it genuinely feels like people just want to do creative shit. Do you know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. So CK, I brought a track from him, and I also have a track from an artist called Resø, which, speaking of dub techno earlier, he's one of the, I don't know if you know, but Copenhagen is like really on the map of dub techno globally, thanks to Kenneth Christensen and his label Echo Chord Records.
Yes.
They've been putting out a lot of really cool music for the last, I think, maybe 20 years or something like that. And I have a track from Reso, who is one of my favorite dub techno artists.
Which one do you want to play first, and then I'll
do
slightly bring this track out.
Let's do the CK track. I've played this myself as well many times. It's one of my favorite tracks.
Okay, go ahead.
Just a quick shout out to the Aarhus crew, Regelbau, Safe Distribution. They're doing a lot of great work, both with music events, but definitely across music, releasing music, producing a lot of excellent music, and putting Denmark on the international map. Super nice.
But you know what? Speaking of Aarhus, there's a few people that I really, really like up there, like Maria from Institute from X. They're doing some really cool things there. I used to go to Super a lot, actually.
Yes. Actually, Super is like a lot of the people from Regelbau, the label that I've been talking about, and CK, they were doing Super.
AK Sports.
Yeah, DJ Sports and Natal Sachs, them two, like really amazing producers. Yeah.
And can produce almost anything, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Exactly, they can produce everything. Yeah.
I was doing some good stuff up there. I wonder what the funding situation's like there, because I have no idea what kind of model you have going on at Kune Festival. How was it this year compared to past years with trying to run a festival on an island outside Copenhagen and make it financially sustainable?
It's been a very, very, very tough journey for us. I feel for the first years. Actually, this year, let me put it like this: we've been accumulating debt for the first editions of the festival, and I know we've made a lot of people unhappy, and we've put a lot of pressure financially on some of our partners and close collaborators, and it hasn't been easy for us neither. We've been working voluntarily and still are working voluntarily for this project since the very beginning. But this year, thankfully, we are going to be able to repay part of our debts. We're not like completely through the woods, but we're getting there. And I think it's been such a long journey and so much work put behind this, and it's just now that we're starting to see the fruits of our labor, if I can call it that. And this is actually goes to everyone else out there who's dreaming about doing something like this or who has an idea. I mean, don't give up so easily, really. And growth is always painful. It hurts. It will take a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. But if you really believe in your idea and if you feel like you have a good idea, don't give up on it. Like, trust me, do not give up on it.
Very motivational speech, but you have to, because I think a lot of this, now we're in the theme of community, blah, 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 blah. It is together recognizing that it's going to be difficult and sometimes you're going to fail, but you need the support network together to be able to continue. I mean, it's also very much a privilege to be able to do what we do and say, you know what, I'm going to lose some money, but I'm going to be fine. Some people who I know personally, and I've also been there, rely on DJing and gigs and events as part of their income. So I think when we talk about us as community, sharing that burden a little bit, and the people who can put in more time and effort ought to, which I miss a little bit. You know, I think there are certain promoters I really love, but I just don't go to their events so much. You know, and perhaps they didn't sell as many tickets as they ought to, and I'm trying to be quite mindful about how I can be in the scene and help it survive in some way. And I can simply buy a ticket and not always ask for guest lists. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I do get what you mean. Unfortunately, I feel like culture in general is much overlooked. I think it's such an essential part of life, of a city's identity as well, and of everyone's kind of like way of living. No matter whether they're part of the scene or not, they interact with culture at some level, right? And I think that this is very often taken for granted, also in this capitalistic system that we live in. And I mean, it's tough in Copenhagen and in the world in general to make a living out of this. As we all know, I mean, most of my friends that are part of the scene in some way, very, very few of them can actually make a living only out of this. Everyone else mostly has to have either a full-time job or a part-time job, or like just, you know, kind of like hustling a little bit to be able to keep this for themselves. It does feel like this hustle culture, and I always wonder how much of that hustle mentality maybe has an effect on the quality of output of maybe events or DJ sets or connecting with people, because sometimes it just ends up being super transactional. You know, I'm out, I've seen someone who I know I need to maintain a nice relationship, la 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 la. And it becomes this, it always turns into industry. And I've been really conscious about it not being so industry for me, but reminding myself that I'm doing this because I want this to be here, even if I weren't being paid for it.
Yeah. And this is also something that we've spent a lot of time thinking about, and also that's part of why we wanted to do the festival every 2 years moving forward instead of every year, because the festival as a project came out of a need, and that need to us is very pure and sacred, and if that need becomes about making money, like the festival has to exist to produce, then that kind of like destroys the very core of the concept. And I think at that point, I mean, for me, it wouldn't make sense to spend time on something like that. And that's why we want to do it every 2 years, because we would rather like keep our jobs and, just be part of society in some other way and still have this level of purity and kind of like inspiration in our lives, because it's just so important, That's a really good one, inspiration, which we'll talk about a little bit before we end. But I want to share this artist you brought. I asked you to bring 2 local artists that you like, inspired by, and we already played one person from Aarhus, CK, and then we have another one that I have in my playlist. This is Reso from Echo Chord Records.
And this track is called Outer Dimension, as I add in the dub echo.
Yeah.
Some Danish dub techno.
Yeah, what I want to say here is he's part of what I think of as Danish old school when it comes to nightlife and music, and there are like so many really great names part of it. Something that I've been reflecting on in the last months is that I would really like to somehow connect people across generations within the music scene, because I feel like for the most part, like we're just kind of running ahead and like trends come after new trends and so on. But I feel like there's so much knowledge that is really not that much leveraged or explored, I really like to have something like that.
I totally agree with you, and that's the reason why I both admire but have really fun conversations with Trolls, who's a really good producer and DJ, and very much in the old Danish club scene. Used to be a drum and bass head, now doing this wobbly techno electro stuff. But he has a great memory, a lot of knowledge, and I feel like I've learned a lot, not only about what the scene used to be like, and some of the shitty experiences from the past that I hope not to repeat.
Yeah.
But also he has this oversight, and he, I guess from his experience, can see where the gaps are in what we're doing. And we have a lot of conversation about bookings, about kind of how nightlife has changed and people who go out. You can really feel the behavior of going out is different.
Yeah.
Like there isn't so much an interest in headliners, more so being in a space and the vibe. And we also talk a lot about opening DJs and how the nature of that has changed, where it's more
the art of the opening.
You just get on the decks and you do your thing. I mean, I used to do that a lot, but you learn.
Everybody does that in the beginning.
Yeah, but I don't think I would have been aware about these things if I hadn't spoken to someone like that who who wasn't in it and spoke to me in a very patronizing way, because I've experienced this with some old school jungle heads.
Yeah.
Where they're like, the kids don't know what jungle is. And it's
this
like,
young generation.
If you don't book anyone who's under 35,
yeah,
they're never gonna know.
Yeah.
So
100%, yeah. And you see, like, this is also what I really love about music and stuff like this, because there's a deep lesson in this, right? Like, there's a lesson that, I mean, you learn how to be part of something bigger than yourself and to contribute to an experience that goes beyond you. And then it's just by kind of letting go of that part of your ego and kind of learning of how to contribute and how to build that together with others, that you can create like a truly magical night, like that has a beginning, and like there's this narrative with a start, with like the happening and the strife and the struggle, and like people landing down at 5, 6, 8, 10 a.m. With the outro. So yeah.
But I'm with you. I think more relationships with DJs who were very much in the scene 10, 15, 20 years ago would be great for us, especially us who take this quite seriously. Especially us who have moved to Denmark and culturally trying to navigate what it is to be in this Danish space and bring some of the influence we've come from here.
Where do you come from, by the way? I don't think I know.
I grew up in London, South London, a place called Croydon.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Reputations. Hey! Croydon massive dubstep reputation, Big Apple Records and all that. Yeah. But my musical influence is so broad, as in from East African music, because my family are Kenyan and Ugandan, to underground UK bass music, to techno music when I went to uni, going to raves and being like, what the hell is this? So it's merged, like a lot of people, into an appreciation for a lot of different rave and club music.
I feel like the more you know, the more you explore, the more you get to learn about language and history and also geography connected to that. I mean, the deeper understanding you have about music and our relationship with music.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm trying not to do, because I think I was guilty of this when I first moved here, trying to replicate exactly some of the vibe and the scene that was in London. In a place like Copenhagen, where the same climate just isn't here in many ways. Yeah. As in, you don't have people in the same way struggling for some of the things that pushes them to genuinely make a DIY scene that births a lot of these really cool subgenres.
I don't think you can replicate, but you can definitely bring an influence.
Yeah, you can. But I've found myself, or I did in the past, trying to do that, and I've also seen new promoters from the UK try and do the same thing, and it's okay. It's like coming here, adapting, learning, and then evolving with it.
It's part of the journey.
I love that journey. Me and my friend laugh about sets being a journey.
They are. Sets are a journey. We are very narrative-oriented species. Like we love a good story. So
let me play the next track here. This last one here, I asked you to bring a song for me. It's called It's Only, DJ Ko's remix. Tell me a little bit about this.
The original track is by Matthew Herbert, who is a legend in electronic music, also known as Dr. Rocket. You've 100% have heard many tracks by him. He's also been doing some more mainstream music. Anyway, I digress. This track is a track that I've been listening over the past 10 years. It was actually part of the beginnings of Kune as well. And this year at Kune Festival, I was very shocked and again very pleasantly surprised to hear it being played towards the end of the set, or maybe even as last track by Hugo. And I think it was just a magical moment for everybody on the dance floor. So yeah, it's a very emotional track as well.
Let's bring it in. I had the itch to play another song, but we're running out of time. I invited you to bring me a couple of tunes. This one specifically reminded you of this year's festival because you said Hugo played it.
Yeah.
Really good DJ who I think I discovered because he plays trance on vinyls. If I remember, we first played together in Pumpahooser maybe 4 years ago, and I've been quite interested in what he does ever since. So, as we wrap it up, as Anton told us to do, what do you take away from this year's festival? How do you feel another year's done and you're back and you're not in debt completely?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still processing everything that happened. I'm just really glad that we chose to do it every 2 years because I don't know how I could have gotten already into the next edition. I'm just so glad for everyone that was there on the island this year and all the new friends that we've made and a lot of really good relationships, and I think the confidence and trust that things will be okay is higher than ever. So I am really looking forward to 2027 when it comes to the festival, and also to what we're gonna do in between the festivals. We have some things cooking. We're cooking, everyone. Let us cook.
Big things coming.
Yeah.
Okay, we will end with this one. Matthew Herbert, It's Only DJ Koza remix. Thank you so much for joining me.
to hold me. It's only my favorite face breaking. It's only the frozen ground shaking. It's only my opening eyes taking pictures of you. Taking Benny, taking Benny, taking Benny.
Yeah, so as we let this tune end, this is the first show in a day that I've curated on Drift Radio, September the 11th. Myself, N.E.GIRL, with Alin Stam, talking about community, talking about nightlife, talking about music. And coming up next, we have Cthulhu.